the big news this week was the release of a new bundle in the store. I believe they announced this bundle in chat, a Unicron chat, I think it is. So the Unicron chat is like alliance leaders, some high-profile players in the game. I'm not in that chat. I'm obviously in playtest. I'm obviously in the content creator chat, but I'm not in the Unicron chat. So I wasn't unaware of this completely. And they sort of said to these guys, listen, the Sword of Balance is going to be available to buy as a bundle on its own. And I'm not impartial to that idea, I'm honest with you. I don't mind putting a price tag on something rather than having to do chance. There's no chances, there's no bad luck, you're getting what you pay for. And I've always said I don't mind that too much, you know, having a guarantee there. And I believe there was a back and forth about this, and then they were just going to bring it as a price point, and people said, will it be available as a bundle later on? Oh, sorry, in a batch later on. And I believe SpaceX at first said it won't be available in a batch, it would just be available to buy. But then I believe, again, it's what I'm sort of hearing second hand, I believe they were told that then it will be available in a batch. I think after this, all the reaction of everyone in that chat, very similar to how Endurance Bot works, very similar to how most things work in the game. You know, you can get something that at a later date you can get it free to play, or you can get it easier. No problem with that at all. The problem that I have with this is the absolute ridiculous price tag. And when we look into the actual rewards, it was a bit weird. So you got the Sword of Balance 5-star, which is brilliant. Yep, it makes Sentius so much better. And it gives you 4-star Sentius and 4-star Malus. And people said, well, most players don't play cross-faction. So I don't see why they're giving you both 4-star versions. So you've got to think, who's this bundle being aimed at? So if this bundle is being aimed at the top players, you get 250 Sentius Crystals, the 4-star Sentius, 4-star Malus. 99% of top players have already got Sentius, Malus, and Magnus already. Most players, I'd say 90% of top players, don't use Sentius, Magnus, or Malus at all in their war team or in outposts. 90%, that's it. There's some that do. So how desirable is this badge? The only thing that's really desirable in this is the 5-star Sword of Balance. And for $150, it's a bit much. This is not aimed at all players that are high level. It's not aimed at new players that are free to play. It's aimed at new players that want to spend a lot of money on the game. I feel like they're chasing new whales. But let's be honest, when some of us think back to how much we've spent on the game, it's a ridiculous amount. And I don't think they're going to find many players like that. So for me, I mean, I don't run a game. I run a business, but I don't run a game. So it's hard for me to sort of say this is what they should do. But in my opinion, I would rather get a bit of money off every player sort of in the game right now than get a lot of money off a few players. Yes, there will be some big spenders like anything want to catch up. Is it a good catch-up bundle? Getting 4-star Sentius Magnus, 4-star Malus? No. And I've even seen some people in the chat saying, for £150, I'd expect the 5-star version. And I think for 150 quid, I don't think it's stupid to say that. I don't think to get one 5-star bot and to get a 5-star Sword of Balance, I think if you go back 5 years ago, that is super cheap. Whereas nowadays, because the amount of 5-star shards you're getting, it's not. £150 for a combat and a 5-star bot. One 5-star bot is not that bad. They should have simply had it 5-star Sentius, 5-star Sword of Balance, a lot of spark to level up that Sentius. Basically, they should give you enough resources to get a 5-star Sentius up to max level. Like something like 3 million spark. Something like that. 3 million spark, Sword of Balance, 5-star Sentius, £150. The problem is just massively overvaluing. For a 4-star bot. A 4-star bot on a 5-star weapon that's only equipable on that one bot for £150. It's pretty scandalous. And that was the first news this week that came out where people were like, it's a bit of a joke. It's a bit too much. And so fast forward to yesterday. And prior to the newsletter coming out, apparently, they spoke in, again, the Unicorn chat and said, listen, we'll think about giving you guys another research slot and some more squad slots. And so everyone was like, yeah, brilliant. Great. No problem with that at all. And I've had a player sort of hit me up and sort of give me a bit of the background. I won't say who, but they give me a bit of background. And sort of said that they asked in that chat, you know, how much is it going to be? What are the sort, you know, I believe they were thinking like along the lines of Zen again. You know, the third slot costs 1 million Zen. How much Zen is going to be this time? It's probably going to be a bit more than that because the fourth slot. What's it going to be this time? And then they actually announced how much it was going to cost. And so they actually announced yesterday how much it was going to cost. I think they were keeping it a bit quiet for a while. The key part here is they've even put themselves, the next edition will be the long-awaited research lab slot. We've asked for this for so long in a way, which will be unlockable for 15,000 cyber coins. So I have sort of campaigned around this for quite a while, asking for Space Ape to help new players get through research. I remember talking to Grind Time, talking to a few other players, sort of doing a bit of background, saying like, you know, how many bots have you got to get through research? I think Grind Time said to me at one point, he had something like 100 bots. Now don't get me wrong, some were level 50, some were level 40, some 30, some 20, some 10, all mixed up. And it worked out something like 400 days of research. It would have to have his research lab going absolutely constantly for basically a year. They brought up the third slot, it was welcomed, and I thought personally 1 million Zen was a lot. I didn't unlock it because I thought 1 million Zen was a lot for a research slot that I was never going to use. Because I don't have that many bots going through. Most of my bots get to 50, and then I leave them as they are. I don't level more cons, I don't really level new 4 stars, maybe to 50, but that's about it, one at a time. But there are new players that are stagnated because they can't get bots for research. Some of it is down to some resources, which they have help with in events. But a lot of it is because they'll have 2 bots in the slot and then can't get through. Now, granted, you can buy things with other resources to get that slot, but it's really hard to achieve the 1 million Zen for newer players to get that research slot. Time and time and time again, they do this. And I look back at the last stream, we literally talked about how the 5-star Omega Supreme part was ridiculous and how everything they sort of bring to the game they massively overvalue. And I don't think they understand what stage the game is at. And it sounds to me that they're sort of trying to grab every sort of bit of money they can. And it just makes no sense to me. And I'm not saying do $1 bundles. The $1 bundle was good. Should do that more often. I'm not saying give everything away for $1. What I'm saying is 15,000 cyber coins for something that should be free. If they're aiming it at top players, we don't need it. We don't need this research lab slot. Top players don't need it. And they are your biggest spenders. So 15,000 coins for a top player is quite a lot still, but we don't need it. If you're a mid-range player and you want this research lab slot and you hear about it coming, you think, oh, I can't wait for this to sort of get through on my research. And they announce it's 15,000 cyber coins, which is like, you know, $40, £40, give or take, £50, something like that. You're thinking, what? This is a money pit. But 15,000 cyber coins is scandalous. And I said, if this was 1,000 coins, I'd have bought it already. I'd have bought it yesterday for 1,000 coins. And even that, I think, is a lot. But how many people would have gone and bought out 1,000 coins for £5? I think they'll try coming out and justifying it and saying, listen, leveling bots is free to play. It isn't, Dale. I'm sorry, but it isn't. If you want to level a bot, it is impossible free to play pretty much. So impossible to do it and be competitive anyway. For me, quality of life additions shouldn't be chargeable. It's quality of life. It's to improve the quality of life in the game for everyone to enjoy the game more. Quality of life additions should be minimal cost. You know, it's the bot release that make you the money. It's the combat releases. It's things like that make the money. It's leveling those bots that make the money. Bring out good content in respects to bots and combats. that will make you enough money. The side pass will make you enough money. Honestly, I think if you're buying this, then you're a sucker. And I'm sorry to say that, because I'm sure there's people that are watching my stream right now or watching this later on. They've actually bought this and think that's a bit unfair. Honestly, I think you will buy anything, considering you get the research lab slots for free to begin with. 1,000,000 Zen you can get free to play over time. Yes, it will take you a while, but you can get it free to play. Whereas Cybercoins, you are not getting 15,000 Cybercoins free to play. This research lab slot is simply, I would like to say pay to win, but you're not going to win with it either. It doesn't give you a massive advantage. And Dale finds that because they give you advantage, that means it should be a monetary value. No, if it gives you an advantage in the game, it should have a monetary value. As in an advantage in it makes wars easier. That should be a monetary value because it makes the game easier. Adding a research lab, I've been campaigning for ages not to add more research lab slots, but to remove research for level 15 below. Remove it completely. And you've got to think, like, from where I am, saying for free, remove all research for level 15 below, they've gone with, no, we're going to charge for one more slot, and we're going to charge $50. The disparity between what the players think this is valued at and what they think is valued at is absolutely light years away.